the whole Cringe thing, that's really him. I mean, like, on and off the camera, like he's not a cool guy. I don't at all like the way he markets himself or the person that he's trying to be. I just don't think he's like I think he's just a socially awkward dude, and I guess he's playing to his strengths because he is a weirdo. So, you know, he's doing that whole weirdo act, and I think a lot of it probably comes really natural to him. Sure, I've met him. He told me I was part of the Cringe Mafia, and I just walked out of the room. I was like, get the fuck out of here. I'm not a part of your weird little Cringe Mafia. I don't ever want to be. Yeah, I mean, I don't like the guy. Obviously, I respect him as an athlete, but like on a personal level, like I've never like, you know, sat down and had dinner with him. But, you know, based on the shit I see on social media and the things I saw, you know, the few times I've met him, not a fan. So I'm fighting Raoni Barcelos. You know, I don't know a whole ton about the guy. I know he's 15-1, number 15 in the world. I honestly haven't really looked too much into like what his pedigree is. I've watched all his fights. Yeah, orthodox guy, likes to wrestle. Kind of, I mean, I've like fighting in the Midwest. This whole boxer wrestler type of matchup is a fight that I'm like super accustomed to. I've fought guys like him, you know, a lot in the past. I mean, yeah, he's really good at what he does. But like I said, like as far as like a stylistic matchup, you know, I fought these guys a lot. I fight really well against the boxer wrestler type guys, and you know, I don't think I'll have any problem, you know, putting them away. I think like long term, like short term, yeah, everyone's like, dude, fight the top 5 guy, fight the number 2 guy. But for me and my skills and, you know, my career longevity, you know, I think I'm still kind of in a building stage. You know, when I got in the UFC, I was so gung ho on being number 1 in the world, and I wanted to do it. I wanted to do it in, you know, I wanted to do it in a year, and I did. I got to the top 10 in a year, and then I was like, you know, who's next? I was always searching for that next big fight, you know, trying to rush my way, you know, to the title or to whatever. And really, you know, I think that there's a lot to be said about someone that has a lot of UFC experience, actually in the UFC experience, and you know, that's kind of what I'm trying to gain. I'm trying to gain the experience against the high level opponents, guys like Barcelos, guys like Song Yadong, guys like Alejandro Perez. You know, I want to go out and beat these guys. That way, when I get to the top 5 and I get to, you know, the absolute best guys in the world, I'm prepared. You know, I have all the skills, and you know, I've developed as an athlete, and I can go out there and I can put them away. I fought a Russian guy. His name was Farkhad Sharipov. Still probably one of the toughest guys I've ever fought. He's just one of those guys that, you know, he had like 30 fights and he dusted a lot of guys. He was a really good wrestler, good black belt, good boxer. He's kind of good everywhere. Really the first like well-rounded martial artist I'd ever fought. And honestly, I was terrified of the guy, terrified of that whole fight. I didn't know how I was going to beat him. And I just went in there and just dusted him. I went in there and just beat him everywhere. You know, I stuffed his takedowns. I took him down. He never touched me. And you know, for me, that was kind of like a turning point in my career. It's like, wow, you know, like I just beat a guy that, you know, I wasn't even sure that I could beat. Not only did I beat him, but I just destroyed him. You know, I beat him, you know, very decisively. So that was like a turning point for me. I'm like, you know what, I got to stop idolizing all these guys with big records and start realizing that, you know, I'm one of those guys. So, you know, that was my that's still to this day my favorite fight. Yeah, 19-1 as an amateur. Yeah, I don't know how many titles I won. There's like 90 million promotions in Michigan. I don't know. I probably have like 10 belts, but they're all at my parents' house. My mom has them in a closet somewhere, probably. Yeah, who cares about amateur titles? But yeah, I had a ton of amateur fights, and you know, none of them really stood out. Wasn't really any fights that I felt like you know, were that detrimental to my career. But the collective of 20 amateur fights, I think, kind of set me ahead as a professional, because I had a ton of in-cage experience. I had 20 fights, and a few of them went the distance. Most of them were over in the first round, but I don't know. I feel like I'm a vet. I've got 42 MMA fights now, so I'm not really going to see too many guys that have more like in-cage experience than me at this point. Everything's Cody Stamann. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I'm on Instagram a lot. I post a lot on my story. So if you want to see what the kind of the day-to-day grind looks like, that's a good place to do it. I'm looking forward to knocking the shit out of this Brazilian guy March 28th. I think it's kind of going to be a turning point for me. It's going to be my first finish in the UFC, and it's going to be kind of the start of a train moving forward. I'm just going to start climbing the ranks and just keep fighting guys with smaller numbers, and eventually, I'm going to be the champ.